Hey everybody! Let's see if you guys could give me a thumbs up for the picture and the sound and all that good stuff, and then we are going to get started. This is the card that I am creating today with the brand new Raise a Glass stamp set. And it just so happens that one of our design team members, Lisa, did an amazing video today. And so I'll link that in the description after this live stream. But it has a similar technique, but instead of using the stamps, she has used the coordinating stencil. So make sure you check that out whenever you can. Okay, everything is looking good. Okay, so you can see I have my little color scheme that I wanted to use going on over here. And I have chosen some Distress Oxide inks because everybody seems to have some type of distress products in their stash. And so today I'm going to be using Tattered Rose for the lighter pink. I'm using Abandoned Coral for the orangey coral color, Twisted Citron, Evergreen Bough, and then Pumice Stone. Okay, so, and of course, depending on what color scheme you choose, you could make this way more masculine and go with grays and blues and greens. You could do like all reds and pinks and purples and make it more feminine. So that is the fun thing about this design, is you can kind of mix it and match it and make it for whatever occasion and whatever person that you need. Well, let's see. Hello, there's Meg in Northern California. Hello, Meg. Let's see, there's Miss Joan, and I'm not going to pronounce it right. Taranthea of Phoenix. Hello, hello, good morning. Miss Karen in Colorado. Mary Grace, hello. Hello, Miss Marilyn. Okay, you guys. So I've got my inks all ready to go. I am going to make a card base a little lighter than I did on my sample card. I'm going to do it in a very soft gray ink. And then, of course, I need my white cardstock to do my cute little Raise a Glass stamps on. And I have the sentiment that is from, let me pull it out. Here, it is from Sip Sip Hooray. And so lots of great greetings and little sentiments that are going to go perfectly with all your cocktails. And I'm simply going to use this little cheers here. I love that font. It's so cool. And then let's take a look at our Raise a Glass stamp set. So this is the stamps that I'm going to be using today. And this is just one more use for these stamps. So you could either stamp them and stamp the solids directly into the glass. I'm going to do kind of a mod kind of background paper today. I love the way that this turned out. And you can see I stamped those detail images kind of off to the side so they don't sit just right. And it just gives it a little more interest there. Okay. All right, so let's get to building, guys. So let me clean everything off. Let me get my white cardstock. And then let's just chat and craft. Does anybody here, have you picked up the Raise a Glass stamp set from the latest Hello Summer release? And you can use whatever acrylic block you have. You could even put this in your Misty. I kind of do it quicker this way instead of having to move it around in my Misty all the time. So it's just whatever you decide and whatever you choose. Okay, I'm going to start with my little, and I don't even know what kind of glass this is. It would hold like a bourbon or a whiskey or something maybe. And I'm going to stamp that in green. This is the Twisted Citron. Let's see here. And I'm going to put this guy about right. So kind of off center just a little bit. And I like to hold it onto my paper for just a second to make sure everything is stamped down. And I got a really good stamping there. I'm going to go ahead and continue with the green, and I know I knew I had 2 pieces of paper there. I want to continue that color right up here, and then again down in this corner. Okay, so I'm going to call it good for the Twisted Citron. And then I'm just going to pick up another one of the solids. I'm starting with the solids first, and let's do like the pint, like you would put a beer in. And I'm going to use the gray, the pumice stone. And I'm going to go right up here like so. And again, I'm just going to press that in and let it hold. Let's see, those would also make cute containers for flowers. Oh, absolutely, Debbie, that's a great idea. Using the little solids and then put your flowers in. Okay, I've got my gray there, and then let's do one right down here like so. I hadn't even thought of using those as containers for flowers. Okay, so let's move on to, and let me go ahead and wipe my little pint glass off. And I'm just using a microfiber cloth. I love microfiber for cleaning my stamps. They get into all the little nooks and crannies. Okay, I'm going to pick up Tattered Rose next, and I'm going to do the fun little martini glass. This would also be fun because it's a geometric. You could totally do a triangle design. So that would be a totally different way to use this stamp set. And I'm going to put the pink kind of right here. And I am kind of paying attention to where these are placed because I am going to stamp that outline or detailed image over the top. And so I'm just kind of watching how close I get everything, so I'm able to stamp those detailed images later and it not make a mess. Okay, I've got my Tattered Rose. And let's go with the Abandoned Coral next. Let's see, multiple uses for our stamp sets. Yes, I love multiple uses. And then you can go back and catch last week's, but I used all coordinating dies. So I used the Freshly Picked here on YouTube, the Freshly Picked stamp set, which is all fruit. But I used, instead of the stamps, I used all the coordinating dies just for more uses with those coordinating dies. Okay, I'm going to stamp right over off the side here. Okay, now I've got my Abandoned Coral, and let's go with the Evergreen Bough next. And I think this is our last color, and I want this kind of margarita fancy looking glass here. And I'm going to do Evergreen Bough right up here at the top, just like so. And I'm being careful again for what's around it, what's underneath it, and I didn't get a good stamping. So I'm going to lean way over. I don't want to stand up. There we go, that one's better. Because we had gremlins last time that I stood up, so I know I don't want to do that. And then I'm going to pull this one right down here like so. Okay, I like that. Okay, now that I have all my insides, hello, Melissa. Okay, Melissa, we're using the Raise a Glass today, and we're doing some fun, kind of different techniques, getting some more use out of our fun stamp sets. Okay, let's go back and let's use the solid for what this one would be for, like your whiskey, your bourbon. And I'm going to lay that on. Now this time for these solids, or for the details, I'm going to use some VersaFine ink because I love the way that it stamps. Okay, I'm going to pull this a little bit towards me. I don't want to pull it off screen, but I'm going to kind of eyeball it, and I want it just kind of above and off center, just a little bit. So I'm going to set that down there. And again, I'm going to hold it and let that ink kind of seep into that paper. Okay. Okay, now you can see where that is all offset. So they're all going to be offset a little bit like that. Okay, again, I'm going to do this one. And again, I'm going to go the same direction. Do it a little bit off center. Let's see here. And let's pull that back. And I'm liking it. I'm going to try to clean up my mess because it would be just like me to drag my nice paper through my mess. Again, I'm going to go off center just a little bit. And then I have that one. Okay. All right, so now that I've got that glass, what is this kind of glass called, you guys? Is it a highball? Lowball? Okay, next, let's do a fun one. Let's do the martini that has the stem. And to get mine straight, I just kind of like throw it down onto my surface and it straightens the stamp out. I'm going to ink that up. And then again, I'm going to do the exact same thing. And I'm leaning over. I hope I don't get my head in the way. And I'm going to go just off center, a little bit above, and then stamp it down. Let's see. I bet Lisa could tell us what that type of glass is called. Okay, you can see I've got my little fun martini glass going. Oops, sorry about my head. Let's get it right over here, right down that side. All right, and then I'm going to pick that up. And then that is all for those cute little martini glasses. And you can see how fun this would be if you're going to make like a dude card and make it more masculine and just change the colors up. Let's do the like margarita daiquiri glass. Let's get right down here. Again, a little bit off center. Pick that up. And then again, right up here like so. Set that down. Okay, let's see here. All right. Now let's move on. We've got one more glass that has a stem, and I guess this would be more like the daiquiri glass.
This isn't just supplies.
I don't know what my kids' games are going off on the iPad. Okay, and then we have our daiquiri. A little bit off-centered. Watch my stem. Okay. Now, is everybody still there? I don't see any chatting going on. Do you guys want to do a giveaway today at the end? Let's see here. You know, we pick our giveaways through the comments. And I'm going to be really careful with this one because I've got that kind of whiskey glass there and my pint. So I'm going to kind of move it just like so. Okay. And I'm going to change again. One more. We've got the beer pint glass. And I'm going to move it over just a little bit. And let's see here. Lisa or Melissa, if you guys are there, is the sound and everything good? Let's see here again. Just a little bit. And pick that up. Okay. Now I'm going to fill in with the other little images. First, I'm going to take the super cute little swizzle stick with our olive on it. Let's see here. I'm going to put him down and pick him up. And then I'm going to fill in some of those open spaces just in the black ink. I'm not worried about coloring anything in or anything like that. That one got a little bit thick, but it's okay. Let's see here. Let's do some off the side. And let's see here, maybe one right here. Okay, I'm going to clean that off. And then keep going. I'm going to take the umbrella and do the same thing. And I can put my little umbrella like so. And let's flip it this way. A little point here. And let's see here, maybe right down here. Okay, and I'm kind of liking the way that that's looking. Okay, let's see here. Okay, the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these super cute little leaves and I'm going to add in I think I'll do it in black again. You can see how cute this is filling in. It looks like pattern paper. Let's see, let me clean up my mess. And I think that's looking pretty good. Okay, now, okay, is everybody still there with me? Let's see here. Let me maybe let's see. Okay. Now I'm going to take my trimmer and I'm going to cut it down to go onto the front of my card. I'm going to trim it down to 4 by 5 1/4. And I like to trim my card panels after I have stamped or stenciled. That way, if there's any like weird edges or anything like that, I can just trim it off. Okay. All right, now I can take my light gray card base and I am going to score that at 4 1/4. And just fold it up. and use my little tool. And then while I have my little score buddy out, I'm going to take the little strip that my sentiment is going to go on, and I'm going to go ahead and just zhuzh it up a little bit by adding some little creases right at the edging. Let's see here. Flip it. Nope. This way. And here. Okay. Now that adds just a little something without having to pull in any more stamps or die cuts or anything like that. And so now I'm going to stamp my cheers from the Sip Sip Hooray stamp set. Let's see here. I think I like this side. And let me check it to make sure that it is in place nicely. And then I'm going to use my anti-static powder tool and really shake it and go over this spot because I'm going to stamp it and then do some heat embossing. And I'm going to stamp in the Versamark or the VersaFine and then put clear over the top of it. Okay, make sure everything is down in there well. And then gently kind of rub over that. And then I'm going to do one more time. And this stays nice and wet, so it's going to give me time to add my clear embossing powder. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to heat set that, and that's going to be nice and shiny. Okay. All right, so you can see there where I've got that nice and shiny stamped sentiment. I'm going to lay that aside. And then before I add everything onto my card, I'm going to take a little bit, just for a little extra fun and sparkle, the Nuvo Aqua Shimmer. And I'm going to go right over the colorful part and give it just a swipe. That just adds just a shimmer. And then this is so easy to leave off if you are doing a more masculine card. For a dude, and it even is going over this oxide really well. I'm not getting, of course, I'm not squeezing it out. I'm just using what's right there on that brush. And then one more. Okay. And then let me hold that up and let's see if we can see all that nice shimmer on there. Again, I'm going to take my heat tool and kind of warm it up. Okay. Okay, so now I just need to add this to my card base. I am going to raise it up just a little bit with some foam tape. Let's do this number. Let's see here. And if you guys are there, I have lost the comments. I don't know if, I hope everything is still working appropriately. It says it is. I just am not getting any chatter. take all my little pieces off. Let's flip it. And now I can add it to my light gray card base. Make sure everything is kind of nicely lined up here. And then tap it into place. Okay, now I can add my little sentiment strip, and I'm going to add it using some of the liquid adhesive. Let's go right down here like so, and that is cut to the same width or length as the card panel, so it doesn't hang over the sides. And I'm just kind of letting everything there kind of set up a little bit. And now I can take my pen blade, if I can find it, and I can add my little, I'm going to add gems this time to this one. So this is the all black little sparkly gems that have adhesive on the back. And I'm just going to pick these up, and I'm going to cover up that little boo-boo right there. Right there, and one more. Okay, and then this one is all done. Okay, so let's compare it to my little trial one I have, and you can see those are pretty similar. This one I used Nuvo drops instead of the little gems. I kind of changed up the ink colors just a tiny bit, but they are pretty similar. Okay, now let me get back to my comments here.